Welcome to video number 2 of my BetFair Beginner's Guide. Thanks for the response, much more than I expected, so great to have you along. So in this video, I'm going to just point out to you right up front now that you have to look at this as like a college course or an apprenticeship. You shouldn't be thinking about making money right now or in the first month or the second month of doing what I'm going to go through in this course. What you have to think about is, how can I learn to be a good, solid, safe trader where I can consistently win month over month over month? You're still going to have red races, you're still going to have red days. I do, even now. But are you profitable at the end of each month? We're going to look in this video on some signals and learn how to pick those up. And as I mentioned in the video 1, the first bit we're going to do that is by watching race replays. There are subtle signals and there are pretty obvious ones. If you see the jockey being loaded into the back of the ambulance, it's probably not going to win. Okay, so that's about the best signal you're ever going to get. On the other end of the scale, it might just be a little slap down the neck just once that maybe most people don't spot. You might just give it a shake of the reins. The jockey might just get a bit lower in the saddle. They're the ones that tend to earn you the money. But for now, what we're going to look at is we're going to look at some basics right in the middle. So that is when the horse is either on the bridle or off the bridle. And to do that, I'm going to get Adele to help us. No, not that one. This one.
Now, when we say a horse is on the bridle, it means that there is a full contact between the horse's bit and the jockey's hand, and you'll see the reins are tight. Some horses obviously can be a little bit keen and they can pull, and you'll see a few jockeys maybe lift their hands to try and hold them and restrain them a little bit more. And it's one of those things where some horses, if they're pulling quite hard, it just means that their petrol tank will go down quicker than others. A sign that horse is coming off the bridle is of course that their petrol tank is starting to run out, and you'll see the contact between the horse's bit and the jockey's hands just slacken, and you'll see the reins will start to loop. And what a lot of jockeys do is they'll change their hands and shorten their reins to try and get the contact back on the horse's mouth and try and coax them along a little bit longer. But of course, as that petrol tank starts to empty and the horse starts to get a little bit tired, the contact will go again and they'll drop off the bridle again. And that's when you see a jockey really kind of have to get down low and start pushing the horse forward to encourage them to keep going and to not stop.
So thanks very much for that, Adele. Great explanation. So what I'm going to do now is we're going to look at some race replays. As they come off the bridle, we'll just go, yep, that's off the bridle, that one's off the bridle, that one's off the bridle, and we'll just start doing that, okay? Right, this is a 5 furlong race. There's no way in a million years I'll be trading this for more than one reason. The fact it's 5 furlong just being one of them. But I'll talk about that in a later video when we're talking about race selection and your trading plan and stuff like that. I just want to use it as an example so we can just start to look at what Adele was telling us about the difference between the horses on the bridle and off the bridle. So let's run the tape and see what happens. Okay, they're all off reasonable steady break and they're all settled down. The green one seems to be pushing slightly more than anything else, but other than that, nothing really to worry about at this stage. Everything's going okay. Right, yeah, they see the jockey's arms on the green, like he's pushing quite hard. That one in the orange is pushing already. Purple one's moving a little bit as well. Yeah, this green one, he's really pushing. The black one's going nice and smoothly. The blue one's going okay. But you can see the difference between the black one there and that, well, the green one there. He's whipping it and going for the whip and everything. So, okay, really easy example. You can see the difference between on the bridle and off the bridle. The black one, it looks like he's sweating up a bit there actually, but he was pretty well cruising the whole way. Let's assume then that you've watched loads of race replays. I'm not talking about 10 or 20, I'm talking about hundreds, okay? So you can now look at a horse and in almost a split second ascertain whether it's travelling sweetly or whether it's under a bit of pressure and it's being pushed or niggled along, okay? Once you can do that, then you've got to start looking at them from a more tactical viewpoint. So as if you're thinking about doing a trade, okay? So the way we trade it back for profit, and I'm sort of mindful not to give too much away because although this is my video sort of series and I can within reason say what I like, I am mindful of the fact that people pay to join Back for Profit, and without Andrew I wouldn't be the trader that I am, so I don't want to be giving away all his secrets. Just a quick word, by the way, on Back for Profit. Don't think for a minute that I can distill 400 training videos into this 5 or 6 video course that I'm doing on YouTube. I think there are 400, if not more, training videos on the Back for Profit website, and Andrew puts a video up 6 days a week going through what people should be looking at and going through his race selection video every day for the members. So it's very, very valuable. The other thing you get if you do join is you get one-to-one help from Andrew. So any member can book a one-to-one telephone call with him, and he'll just chat through stuff with you on the phone, or even watch you trade, and you can both watch the same race live together and he'll talk you through it. So it's invaluable. So don't think for a minute that I can possibly distill all of that knowledge into 5 or 6 videos, because I just can't. But I would also say, if you're thinking about joining, don't join right now. I know it sounds daft. You might think, well, if you're such an advocate for Back for Profit, why not get me to join right now? I think what you should do is wait and watch the rest of these videos that I'm going to do, because you may look at it at the end and think, well, that looks very disciplined, almost bordering on boring. I mean, if you're doing Back for Profit correctly, it should really be borderline boring, okay? But it's profitable if you do it right. So it's not for everybody. Some people enjoy trading. They want to switch their computer on. They want to watch the racing and just trade every race, and they'll trade 20 races a day, 30 races a day, and then switch off, and they don't really care whether they've won or lost. If that's the sort of person you are, that you just trade for excitement, then Back for Profit isn't for you at all. Back for Profit is really disciplined to do it correctly. So wait and see the other videos when I go through our race selection process, and how you'll probably be surprised at how many races we watch that we don't trade. And that is the hard bit, okay? Trading's easy, not trading is very, very difficult to learn. So I'll cover that in later videos. So for now, if you're thinking about joining, I'd hang on, but I will leave a link through to my website below, and if you go to it through there, there is, for people who do want to join, there's a link there. You can go through to the Back for Profit website and you can get a 10% discount. So I'll leave that link below, but as I say, I would hold fire and not join right now. What we're generally looking for when we're doing a later back is we're looking for the 3 shortest prices, because we do liability. So if you're going to do liability, the shorter the price, the more you're going to win, but obviously your liability is the same. So your risk is the same, but your reward is greater. So we're looking for 3 short prices. So we have to get to the position where we can watch 3 horses at the same time, concentrate on the 3 horses at the same time, and watch the prices. Now, when you first start, just watching them and picking out what's on the bridle and off the bridle is difficult. And then when you start watching races, when you're just concentrating on one horse, you'll find that quite difficult. Then when you master that, you can add in the second one. Then when you can master that, you can add in the third one. So let's watch this race and assume you're at that point where you're now watching 3 horses in the race, and I'll talk you through how I do that. I start to then watch race replays when I know the result. Now, that might sound a bit weird because we're all clever with 20/20 hindsight, but I watch them with knowing the result, because it can help me to look at that, because obviously I know this particular favourite here, look, it finishes 6 out of 7, so it clearly doesn't run very well. And the other 2 horses finish first and second. The second and third favourite finish first and second. So there's going to be a point in the race when it's obvious that that isn't going to be running very well. But then you can also watch earlier in the race, so go back to the beginning again and watch it again, and try and find the first early signs to say to yourself, okay, could I have entered the trade early? But let's look at this race then, knowing that this one clearly hasn't run very well and these 2 have run quite well. Okay, right, off to a start. So how do I watch them all? So this is the favourite. So we know the result, but even if I didn't know the result, the one I want to lay the most is going to be the favourite, because it's the shortest price. So I'm always going to be drawn to that first of all. Okay, my second and third glances are going to be at the second and third favourite, which happen to be that one and that one, which is a bit of a nuisance because they're as far away as possible. So the way I do this is I'll be concentrating on this one, but then I'll flick my eyes to that one and then back. Okay, then I'll concentrate on that one again, then I'll flick my eyes to that one and back. So I'm watching this one most of the time, but every now and again I flick and just quickly look and back. flick and quickly look and back. Okay, now when you've watched loads and loads and loads of race replays, just that split second view will tell me that whether it's running sweetly or it's not. Okay, so up until the point where I can see where they are in relation to each other in the race, I'm just going to watch the favourite, and then I can't see that one, so I've just checked that one. That's going really sweetly. He's dropping back a little bit, so now oh blimey, I won't talk about that for a second, but we'll see that back in a second. Dear, oh my god, I didn't watch this race live. I didn't trade it. I wish I had done. I've seen that, but anyway, let's not get into FOMO. Right, so let's just go back a little bit. Oh, did you see the jockey there? Look, you see where his head is now. Watch it in a second. When I unfreeze this, his head's going to pop back up again. See, look, he's actually sitting down on that horse and squeezing it. Anyway, let's assume for a minute that it was just travelling quite sweetly, because it's in the slightly worse position of the three. That would get me sort of excited, thinking, well, there may be a trade here if I can see some signs of weakness. I've already spotted them, but we'll come back to that. So I would be watching that one very carefully, because it's in a good position. If you're going to do a later back, what you want is of your three horses, you want one not in such a good position, looks to be a little bit weaker, and you want the other two in better positions, looking to be travelling well. So we can see this blue one's been travelling very nicely all the way, actually. JP McManus he's on the rail, but he's okay there, I think. But they're travelling sweetly, that's the main thing. Okay, so they're both in good positions and travelling sweetly. He is in a poor position, and as you can see right from the beginning virtually, let's watch him again. Oh, the jockey's pushing him already. Now, sometimes when they push them very, very, very early in a race, when they've just come out the stalls, it's just because they want to get into a better position. So they might want, if they're coming to a bend, they might want to just get in the lead so they can get the rail. I don't think that was what that was, but let's watch for sure. Oh, there, look. See him, look, sit down there. So a really early sign there that horse is not travelling very well. So at that point, I have to say, you're going to say, oh, it's hindsight. You're very clever with hindsight. But I have to say, I'd have been laying that horse at that point. And now look. So let's assume I'd laid the horse at that point when I said originally. At this point now, I'd probably be trading out, I should imagine. I can't see the prices. I haven't got the prices when I was... Obviously, I'm only just watching the replay like you are. I didn't see the race live. I wasn't trading at that point. But I should imagine that running and this gap here that's opened up, that it clearly isn't running well, and these two are going very nicely. So my guess is that punters would have been backing these two and traders would have been laying that one. Okay, and the price of these would have been shortening and the price of that one would have been drifting, and that's all that needs to happen and I'm out. Okay, now let's assume then that at some point later in the race this thing wakes up and the jockey gives it a bit of a roasting and the horse says, yeah, okay, then let's turn it on, let's start moving and grooving, and he comes back on the bridle and he suddenly starts running sweetly and he makes up the ground. I mean, they're still a long way out, so he could still have won. I'd have been out now, so I don't care whether it finishes 6th. I don't care whether it finishes 1st or 6th. It doesn't make any difference once I'm greened up. Okay, Coventry City colours going nicely. JP McManus's jockey is taking the shortest route, and again he's virtually motionless. You can see his arms. Look at him, look at this lot. Jesus Christ, it's breathing out of its arse by the look of it. It is literally running like a drain, as they say. So I'm bumping him and pushing him along. Jesus Christ. Well, it doesn't matter to me, I'd have been out anyway. But a really safe, simple trade. Sorry about saying safe, simple trade, but again, the important thing is you're laying that because it's running weak, but that's only one reason to lay it. You're laying it because it's not running very well. That's one reason. You're laying it because it's not in a great position and it's got a lot of ground to make up. So that's the second reason. And the third reason is that horse there is giving you protection because it's running very sweetly. It's in a good position, ears pricked, still on the bridle. See, the reins are still nice and tight there. And the other favourite, the JP McManus one, again, ears pricked, running well, nice tight reins, jockey damn near motionless. So you've got all of those reasons to enter the trade, and you've got all that protection. Okay, everything that's bad about this, but yet still further, you've got all the good things that these two are offering you, that protection. That's when you have a safe trade. Okay, that's the sort of thing that we're looking for at Back for Profit. We're not looking for these, oh, I'm not quite sure, shall I, shan't I trades. We're not interested in those at all. We're looking for the ones when we go, yeah, we are really sure. Okay, that's the way we trade. What we're looking for two strong ones and one weak one, and we're going to lay the weak one. Simple as that. Right, in the next video, I'm going to be showing you some trades where we'll be doing it sort of live, effectively, with BetAngel open, so we can watch the races and see the prices, because obviously that was a great race to watch on a replay, but we couldn't see what the price in BetAngel was doing at that point, so we can't see at what point the price started to really drift on that favourite. But we'll do that in the next video.